The RAAL MG in Modern Warfare 2 is a weapon I've been looking forward to reviewing because it's just the epitome of fun. Well, not for everyone. If you only like aggressive gameplay, the RAAL might not be for you. But if you like the idea of posting up a literal cannon that decimates the cover in front of your enemy, the enemy behind that enemy, and then the cover behind that enemy, and just tears people up and accidentally kills people because they got near your line of fire and you started nicking them with collateral damage and some sprayed shots and whoops, that's a double kill, then yes, it is a super fun weapon. If you like that powerful, I set up my cannon, I destroy you style of play, then yeah, the RAAL is fun. And the stats really aren't important. Basically, you're gonna be getting a 2-shot kill if you're hitting people in the torso and head. If you start hitting them in the limbs, you're gonna get a 3-shot kill out to like 70 meters plus. So in 6v6 maps, you are 2 to 3-shotting people. Don't worry about the stats. Just play with the weapon yourself, get used to the recoil. We'll talk about some builds later that'll help you rein in that recoil and play with the weapon in a couple of interesting ways, but those barely matter. Why I was so excited to review this was because I just want to gush over it. Sometimes in a Call of Duty game, you have a weapon that's just the epitome of cool or novel or just fun. It's just a fun weapon, and the RAAL checks all of my boxes. Now, obviously, you do have the downside of it being slow. Swapping to this thing is slow. Reloading this thing is slow. I was using it to get headshots for the Path of Ronin challenge today. I wasn't using fast hands. I'll get more into that in a second. And I will say, yeah, the thing is very, very slow. I died simply due to the lower movement speed not allowing me to strafe, out of the line of fire of an enemy. Like, it was really bad, but boo-hoo. It's not a light machine gun. It really should not be in the light machine gun category. It should be in just a machine gun category. When I look it up, people describe it as a machine gun, a heavy machine gun. I don't think it's really a heavy machine gun, but whatever. But the 338 Lapua rounds it's firing are damning. To give you guys a perspective, you are just short of firing 50 caliber ammunition out of this thing, and the fact that you can do that with a 100 round box mag, oh, it's so worth it. It's so worth giving a try. And I guess I'll get into ammo types, because again, stats with the RAAL are not important. Does it really help your gameplay to know that it takes like 6 milliseconds to fully aim down sight with the whatever stock or the whomever barrel? No, it doesn't matter. That's not gonna affect your gameplay. The moment you use the weapon, you realize how fast it aims down sight, you're good. The numbers mean shit. What you gotta think about is ammo types. So if you run armor-piercing rounds, you're going to wallbang people across the map. You are gonna constantly wallbang people. You're gonna shoot through things you didn't know you could shoot through. You're gonna deal damage you didn't know you could deal through materials. You're gonna decimate kill streaks. You're going to decimate cover. It's gonna be perfect. If you use overpressurized rounds, you are a sniper's or anybody that's trying to pre-aim you worst nightmare, because you are dealing a ton of damage and you are hitting them very hard anyway, and they are likely not going to win the gunfight if you get one hit marker on them. Giving them more flinch is just a way to secure those kills and to just completely hard counter snipers. This thing is really good in long range combat and lane watching, so that's not a bad trait to be able to have. But then you have frangible ammunition. The ammunition that keeps your enemies from healing up. So that already can be pretty annoying. But what's really fun is hitting somebody with a weapon that's dealing 50 damage. And I'm talking like 50 damage to the upper torso out to like 40 plus meters. You hit them and they're at half health and they're stuck there for like 8 to 9 seconds. That is really rough to get hit by a light machine gun, a machine gun that hits that hard, and then even if you escape, you are just out of the fight for like a 1/6 of a minute, and it's really rough. So what I think is kind of fun is that no matter which ammo type you use, except for hollow point rounds, which are useless, you're gonna be having a lot of fun. If you run incendiary ammo on the RAAL, you're gonna deal so much damage to kill streaks, you're going to shoot them down before they can fire. But I recommend frangible to be annoying, overpressurized for counter sniping, but usually, almost always, I run armor piercing just so I can plow through, cover like brick walls and pretty much anything else.
Friendly VTOL entering this sector.
Thank you. Yeah, you can shoot through that, by the way.
I don't know why I was gonna start listing things off there. Pretty much anything else. This is one of the few weapons in this game that I get accidental kills with, because multiple enemies will push me on like a hard point or down a tight lane on like border crossing or whatever. I'll start firing at one person, and the people that are kind of moving in and out of the gunfight trying to get a shot on me get hit once or twice and they're dead. Or I start shooting to kind of suppress somebody on a flag, and I start shooting through their cover, I get a hit marker, and then I keep dumping rounds into the wall fishing for more hit markers, and I get a double kill because the bullet went through the wall and 2 people. It's rough. Like, it's really fun, but it's almost funny how many times I start getting hit markers and then I'm like, oh, I'm in a gunfight, I'm probably gonna win this. And then I just completely obliterate somebody and their buddy. Like, I get accidental kills with the RAAL MG, and I think that's a testament to how fun this thing is. Now, you have to be willing to do the unthinkable. I know a lot of you are going to cringe at this. You have to adjust your playstyle. If you're going to be using this thing run and gun, stop it. You are running essentially a 50 cal MG. You are not using a light machine gun. You are using a machine gun. This is for locking down a far lane on Turok, holding out the narrow passageway on border crossing. This is for shooting people through walls and on head glitches. This is for just tearing through things, but you have to be ready. You have to have your gun up and ready. Run this thing with a bipod. Bipod it on short walls so you can just have even just that much more accuracy. This thing does have a lower rate of fire of around 550 RPM, and so what you're gonna definitely want to do is run a 100-round box mag, because it's so funny how much sustained fire you get with a 500 RPM 100-round box mag. When you run that, you're gonna be able to keep putting rounds down range. You're not gonna burn through the mag and constantly have to be reloading. You're gonna have the time and ammo to assess and fish for hit markers through walls, take on multiple opponents, keep people suppressed. I love this thing so much. It's not meta. I wouldn't call it meta. But the fun thing about it is that once you are zeroed in, once you are bipoded or mounted and you have a nice scope or clean optic where you want to shoot, and an enemy walks in front of that, the likelihood of them walking out alive is very, very low. So now let's get into my favorite builds. I'm not exclusive ace, I'm not going into the stats of anything here. I went off of feel and experience and just love of the weapon. So this is my more aggressive RAAL. We use the XRK Dune Grip, some armor-piercing ammunition for the reasons I mentioned earlier. We have a 100-round belt mag. We have the Bruin G305 grip wrap, that's for flinch resistance, and then the demo nimble stock for aim walking movement speed. This is great because you have 100 rounds of armor piercing ammunition. You can walk with this thing pretty steady. You don't take a lot of flinch, and it's good for just pushing onto an objective, holding down the trigger, and just mowing down anyone that gets in your way. Combining this with the focus perk is very, very scary for your enemies, because even if they start damaging you, if they're not dealing enough damage, they're not going to flinch you off target, and you're going to win the gunfight, for sure. But maybe you want it to be a little bit more aggressive. You can try the BVM 338 muzzle brake for your horizontal recoil control, your FSS Riot stock, your Bruin Q900 grip wrap, and the 50-round belt mag, plus the FSS OLEV laser. This build feels more like a stupid AR. It's fun and funny to use. You're still going to be two-shotting people up to like 50 meters or so. So like, that's fine. I don't like running the weapon in a way it wasn't intended. Again, I find setting up cannons in a Call of Duty game to mow through people to be really fun. Making it kind of a poopy version of that, no, it's not really my thing. But here's my spicy take. Here's the best way to run the RAAL. A hybrid optic, a bipod, and armor-piercing rounds, then whatever other attachments you want. 100-round mag, a laser, something to make it a little bit more versatile, a longer barrel to further increase the muzzle velocity and damage range, whatever you want. But just the main tip I have for you with the RAAL is have fun. You are a dealer of death. You are an evil villain when you use this thing. Now, like I said earlier, I wasn't using fast hands with it, and what's the reason for that? You do want to worry about your flinch. I did notice some of my gunfights I would lose just because if I had a high zoom optic and I was aiming at somebody and they'd flinch me off target, I don't really have the rate of fire to sweep them. So, if they start throwing me off target, I'm likely to start losing gunfights. That's the one thing we don't want to do, so definitely run focus with this and some flinch reducing attachments like a grip or something. Once you do that, you're going to be even more evil because you can be mounted somewhere, they can only see the top of your head and shoulders, they get a hit marker on you, it doesn't flinch you, you hit them with 2 Lapua Magnum rounds, and it's good night, welcome back to the respawn screen. So that's my review of the RAAL. If you manage your flinch, if you use armor-piercing rounds, if you slow down and let the weapon do its thing, it's gonna serve you very, very well. I do not see these things online that much because I know it did get nerfed, and rightfully so, it was definitely a little too accurate. But now I would say it's this underrated gem that is the epitome of gunfight winner. So let me know what you think about the RAAL in the comment section below. Let me know if you like my builds. Give me your favorite build if you have one. And that's the end of this simple gun guide and review. I will see you when I see you guys. Goodbye.